Good morning, YouTube. This is Veteran Mountain Man again, and today I want to talk about taxes. Specifically, Donald Trump's 1040 from 2005. And did anybody notice anything about his 1040 from 2005? Yep, that's right. Donald Trump paid almost 28% in taxes. In fact, Donald Trump even hit the alternative minimum tax in 2005. And all of this after the media had talked about his 1998 tax return and writing off hundreds of millions of dollars in losses that might have allowed him to avoid taxation for up to 18 years. And when we look at Donald Trump's tax returns, it's almost 30% tax in 2005. And this doesn't even cover his New York State tax return, because living in New York State, he's subjugated to other income taxes, including state income tax, school district income tax, sales taxes, and these things aren't even included on the 1040. So, why is it that they're all up in arms about this? I mean, especially after we saw Bernie Sanders' tax returns and he paid far less. And while living in Vermont, we would expect him to pay a little bit less. He paid far less. We're talking close to 13%. And after seeing President Obama's tax returns for, it was, I think, 2012, where he paid 15%. And yet, President Trump is the bad guy because he has a lot of money and obviously was not paying taxes. At least that was the accusation hurled on him by Secretary Clinton during the campaign, was that he doesn't pay income taxes and he's not rich. Well, I'm sorry, people, but if you're making $100 million in income in a year, and he was actually a little bit closer to $150 million in income for a year, that's the wealth level of a billionaire. That's about how much they draw in. And the reason being is because nobody who's a millionaire or a billionaire makes $1 million a year for a millionaire or makes $1 billion a year for a billionaire. They make under that amount, but they make sufficiently enough over what you would think to allow them to accumulate wealth in a reasonable amount of time. In fact, most of our millionaires in this country make between $200,000 and $500,000 a year in taxes, in taxable income. And the reason being is they can accumulate $1 million in a couple of years. Now, there are some, the most wealthy of the wealthy, that make millions of dollars a year. But funnily enough, most of those people work in Hollywood. Yeah, that's right. Hollywood. Or they're on sports teams. They're not the average millionaire. They are exceptions. And even your biggest businessmen like Bill Gates or Phil Knight, they're billionaires, but they're pulling in tens of millions of dollars a year. Sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars a year, but they're billionaires. They're not millionaires. So you've got to look at scale there. Anyhow, I think at this point, MSNBC has lost large amounts of credibility. I mean, this snafu is almost as bad as Geraldo Rivera opening up the quote-unquote vault underneath the city of Chicago that belonged to the infamous gangsters. This is ridiculous, and yet they continue to push this narrative. So perhaps it is time that we all say goodbye to MSLSD and allow it to become the echo chambering cult that it is, because they obviously don't care about actual news reporting. They just want to destroy political opponents in the media. And that's not news. That's partisanship. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. Remember, if you want to discuss this in more detail, you can find me at minds.com/veteran mountain man. If you like what I'm doing here on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Feel free to comment. I will respond to comments down below. Thank you all, and have a good day.